Hello everyone, this is Cody Lee of BlackCatBooks.org, author of Eye of the Dragon, Cool and Beautiful Rabbit Hole, King Dio, Lauren Frey, and the upcoming Jaw of the Dragon. Reminder that King Dio is once again being updated weekly, so please check every week for that. Hopefully for the next long while. But yeah, lately, a while ago, actually, a long while ago, I got around to reading like Tokyo Revengers, Volume 1, the manga, and I never got around to making a video about it. I don't remember why. I think I was busy, I had a lot going on, like, it's just, I read the manga, I enjoyed the manga, but I didn't make a video about it. So let me try vainly to recall all the finer details of this one, and hopefully I'll be able to share it with you, my general thoughts. So, Tokyo Revengers caught my attention a while ago because it seemed to me like the closest thing I was going to get to a delinquent manga series that was translated into English, because I think like a lot of this stuff like doesn't actually come overseas. I think a lot of it is rooted in Japanese culture and like the youth there, and as a result, there's not really a market for it in North America. So I being a big fan of Yu Yu Hakusho, River City, things like that, I've been having a lot of problems finding manga like that. So Tokyo Revengers caught my eye as being something that I might be interested in. And upon reading Volume 1, I do see where the appeal is. I think this might be actually what I was looking for. Like, maybe not exactly, because I'm not sure how I feel about the whole time travel mechanic yet, the gimmick of this series, but like, all in all, like, when it comes to like the punk stuff, when it comes to like the retrospective and like looking back on like better days, like being nostalgic for the past, and like the whole joining a gang thing, like this is the super appealing the fighting, like this is like what I personally was looking for, like Yu Yu Hakusho without the supernatural aspect, like the focus on like the relationship between the characters, drama and action, right? And that this first volume of Tokyo Revengers did a whole lot to get me excited about it. The character, the protagonist, whose name I do not remember, is 26 years old and looking back on his life as a bit of a waste, right? Like he dropped out of school at some point for whatever reason, and he's just kind of like drifting around doing jobs like shit, like retail work and stuff like that, and legit simping for this girl he dated briefly in 8th grade. Like, this motherfucker peaked in middle school. And he gets word one day that this girl has died, right? She was killed in an accident. Oh, she was killed by by a gang leader, right? Like this gang. And he's really, really bummed out about it. Like, this girl he dated a long time ago is dead. And it's a really understandable thing. Like, it's a really understandable thing to go through. But somehow he gets isekai'd into the past, like he gets hit by a train, as I recall, and goes straight to like 12 years ago, back when he was still dating her, and he realizes that the gang who killed her were made up of people he knew in middle school. So the entire thing is, it seems to be a weird time travel story where the character, the protagonist, can go back in time and go back and forth through time and see like what he does, see how what he does in the past affects the future. So basically, like, by touching the girl's brother, somehow this sends him back like exactly 12 years through time. And I don't know like what the reasoning for it is. It kind of comes out of nowhere. It's poorly explained. The mechanics make no sense. Like, I can understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to make something that's like unique and distinct from like other stories like it, but it's like, it's such a weird contrivance. Like, you just happen to go back in time. You just happen to be able to go back and forth whatever you want, and like through a very specific like action. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, again, this is kind of a problem I have with a lot of manga, where they kind of feel this need, they have this compulsion to like explain their core gimmick right away, when I would prefer that like they don't really explain anything. Like, honestly, I think I would have preferred like not having an explanation for the whole time travel thing. I don't really necessarily see the point in like going forward in time, at least not yet. Like they kind of established that the things he does in the past do affect the future, and there are like some aspects to the story that make me think that like the author has plans for this gimmick, but like at the moment it does feel very much like a gimmick. I don't like the way it was introduced. I don't like the way it's utilized, but on the positive side, I really like the idea of the protagonist being able to like look through what happened in the past through like a future lens. Like not only when it comes to like his personal life, like how he became an adult and like his feelings and stuff like that, and like the decisions he decides to change like in the past, how he decides to like stand up to bullies and stuff like that. Not just in that respect, but when it comes to like the other characters, the antagonists, like the gang, the people who grew up to lead the gang. Like we meet some of them at the end of this volume, and the protagonist notices that they are radically different than what they grow up to be. Right? They are not who they grow into. Essentially, like they're completely different people, and that leads to like this really interesting question of like, well, how did they become what they are in the future? Like 12 years from now, like how did they go to like from this to become like this kind of like noble kind of delinquent to like one of the most dangerous gangs in Japan? It's really interesting stuff. Like some minor nitpicks, a lot of minor nitpicks, but all in all, like I really enjoyed this, and if it like really improves the quality, like if it really improves the storytelling, really makes me care about the characters more. Like I don't really remember the protagonist's name. I don't care about the girlfriend. She seems like super basic, like super like generic anime waifu, and I don't like the idea of like simping after a girl that you dated in middle school. Like I don't even remember the girls I knew in middle school. It's just weird to like have the same kind of like to like compare my attitude towards this kind of thing to like the protagonist. But like you can kind of understand that like yeah, like she's fucking dead, of course you would be upset about it. But like the entire plot like revolves around wanting to save this girl, and I don't really see it. Like why would anyone just be obsessed about going back and saving this girl's life? I don't really get it. It's not appealing. I don't relate to it at all. At least not yet. Like this girl just doesn't seem like special to me in that way. She's just a basic girl. Like that's it. The antagonists, I think, are my favorite characters in this so far. Like the gang members, they seem kind of fun. They seem kind of interesting, and like the volume kind of ends with them kind of becoming friends with the protagonist. So I think we're going to see interesting developments going forward. I think we're going to see like a lot of radical a lot of radical shifts, a lot of like changing perspectives, and I think we're going to see a lot more going forward in the next volume.